Hey guys, sorry I'm not here again today. Um, we are going to be taking our power assignment today, regardless. Um, but before we do that, I want to make sure you get a chance to do some practice, and I'll do some examples. Um, what you do is everyone is going to need to have a piece of paper out, and the sub will make sure they do that. The answers to these problems that I'm going to have you do here, they're in red, okay, underneath the problem. These are the answers for those individual problems, okay? So I want you to go ahead and do these 4 problems on your paper. Just please pause the video and give the students about 12 minutes to complete these problems. All right, let's go ahead and take a look here. Start with number 1. Now, 5 of the 10 problems we're going to have on the power assignment are going to be similar to number 1. And this one has both of them solved. Okay, so this one's solved. It says y equals. So I'm going to remove the y in that equation, and I'm going to rewrite this. So it's going to be x minus 8 equals negative 2x minus 2. That's the equation I'm going to solve. Okay, so get my x's on one side. Oops, sorry. I was adding that up ahead of time. Sorry about that, guys. Add 2x to both sides, excuse me. Add 8 to both sides. And that's going to give me 3x equals 6. Divide both sides by 3, and x is 2. So that gives me my x answer. Now I'll make sure I plug this back in for x. I'm going to use that first one. Now it just says y equals x minus 8. So instead of x, remember I'm putting a 2 in its place. So it's y equals 2 minus 8. And 2 minus 8 is negative 6. Okay, and that's going to give us the answer that they show here. X answer, y answer. X is 2, y is negative 6. For number 2, it's similar in that they're both solved. Okay, so I'm going to take the top one. That's my solved. Okay, it says y equals, so I'm going to put this in place of the y. And I'm going to rewrite this. So I'm going to have 2x plus 10 equals negative 5x minus 18. And I'm going to solve this equation. So solve. Add 5x to both sides. That's 0. Minus 10 on both sides. That is 0. And I'm going to get 7x equals negative 28. Be careful when adding, okay? Don't want to make any of those types of mistakes. Divide both sides by 7. And I'm going to get x equals negative 4. So I have my x answer. Now I just need my y answer. So I'm going to have to plug it back in. And I'm going to plug it in for the top one again. Put it in for that x. So I'm putting negative 4 in for that x. So instead of writing y equals 2 times x, I'm going to write y equals 2 times negative 4 plus 10. Sorry, it looks a little sloppy there. 2 times negative 4 is negative 8. Negative 8 plus 10 is 2. And that gets us this answer. Okay, make sure that when you do write your answer that you put it in parentheses like it's shown here. Excuse me. You want to make sure that you do that correctly. Okay. Now, those were the ones where they're both solved. And then we have 5 other ones that are like numbers 3 and 4 where only one of the 2 are solved. Okay, so number 3 is, probably one of the harder ones that you'll see. It's a very common thing that shows up in this. So I'm going to make sure I try to explain the best I can how this is done. So, top one solved. Y equals negative 3x plus 5. Now it says y equals, so I'm going to remove this y. And I'm going to put that in its place. But the thing that's a little tricky is you got to think about what's in front of this y. Okay? And the thing that's in front of this y is actually a negative 1. So when I write my equation, I've got to make sure I keep that in mind so that I distribute correctly. So I have negative 4x minus 1, and then in parentheses, I have my negative 3x plus 5 equals negative 6. What a lot of times people do is they forget to consider that a -1, and then they don't end up distributing in the right way. So distribute. -1 times -3x is +3x. -1 times 5 is -5. Add my x's together. Okay. And I start solving. Add 5 to both sides. I'm going to get -1x equals -1. Divide both sides by -1, and x is 1. So I have my first answer. I have my 1 for my x. I need to plug it back in. I'm going to use a solved equation. That's 1. So instead of writing y equals -3 times x plus 5, I'm going to write y equals -3 times 1 plus 5. -3 times 1 is -3. -3 plus 5 is +2. So I'm going to get 1, 2 as my answer. Again, make sure you're putting it inside of parentheses. Okay, you don't want to accidentally do those little things wrong. Okay, x comma y. Okay, last one here. I should say last one of this type. Bottom one is solved. Ouch, sorry. It says y equals, so I'm going to remove the y, and I'm going to put that in its place. So the equation I should have is -4x minus 4, and then in parentheses I have the 7x minus 7 equals -4. You got to make sure you distribute correctly. That is a -4 there. So -4 times 7 is -20. 7x is -28x. -4 times -7 is +28. Add my x's together. I get -32x plus 28. And then I solve my equation. -28 on both sides. Get -32x equals -32. Divide both sides by -32, and x is 1. So there's my x answer. Got to plug it back in and get y. So I'm putting my 1 in for x. So I'd have 7 times 1 minus 7. 7 times 1 is 7. And 7 minus 7 is 0. So that gets you the answer of 1, 0. Okay. All right. Some of you are going to be given a chance after you're done with the power assignment to redo your power assignment over graphing. Okay. So I want to make sure I go over these two real quick, the differences between them. Okay. For number 1, these are equal signs. So remember, with the equal signs, your final answer, you are going to name a point. Okay, x comma y. Name that point where they intersect at. So I'm going to start off one at a time. I'm going to put that top one in red. Okay, y-intercept's -5. Slope is +2/3. So up 2, right 3. And I need to make extra points. Up 2, right 3. Up 2, right 3. Get off my screen. Get off the screen. Goodness gracious. Also need to go the other way, down to left 3 to left 3. And I'm going to connect it. I'll try to make this as accurate as I can. Okay, that's not real good. That's close enough. Okay, my line itself is off, but the dots are in the right place. The second one I'm going to do in yellow. Y-intercept is 2. Slope is +3. So I'm going up 3, right 1. But that's getting me further away from my line, so I'm going to go the other direction. Down 3, left 1, down 3, left 1, down 3, and I hit that intersection. Okay, that intersection that I have there, that point that I circled is where these two lines intersect. Okay, so I need to name that. On the x-axis, it's at -3. On the y-axis, it's at -7. You got to make sure. Some of you just need, when you took the power assignment, you had your x's and y's in the wrong order, okay, on that front side. Okay, so that's how you do those problems, just a quick reminder. Okay, sorry, I was having issues with my iPad there. All right, second one. Now, for these, okay, and I left them on the chalkboard, you need to pay attention to your dotted solid shading stuff. So I'm going to put this first one in red. Y-intercept is -1. Your slope is 2/5. Up 2, right 5. You don't have to make extra points. I like to because it makes my graphs a little bit more accurate. And you got to think about what type of line that you need. In this particular one, you need a dotted line. And then this is a less than sign, so I'm going to shade down. Remember, I have 2 of them here, so I'm not going to shade it, color it in all the way. I'm just going to mark that it goes that direction. I just put 5 lines in that direction. Excuse me. Go to my next one. I'll put that one in green. Y-intercept's -7. The slope is -4/7. So down 1, 2, it goes off my graph. So I'm going to have to go up 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and left 5. Now this that point, they do intersect there, but that's not actually a solution, remember, because it's dotted. Up 4, left 5. I had to graph this. My line on this one, since it has the or equal to part, is going to be a solid line. Okay? And this one also is a less than symbol, so this one's also shaded below. So below the green line would be here, which means the intersection, the overlap of those shadings is in this blue area that I'm coloring in. It's below the green line and below the red line. Okay? So you got to make sure that your shading, you don't need to name the point on those types of problems. All right. Okay, we are going to be taking the power assignment. Okay, just some quick reminders. Okay, put your cell phones away. You don't need your cell phones. You may use a calculator for the power assignment. Those of you that want to redo your power assignment 5-1, okay, it's the only one that you'll be able to redo. It's the only one I have ready to go. If you wanted to redo 5-1, you can do that after you are finished with 5-2. Okay, and 5-1, that's the one on the graphing stuff. Okay, you've got to finish power assignment 5-2 first. Okay, there are 10 problems. Just a little tip, a little hint. On power assignment 5-2, okay, with all the substitution stuff, okay, you should not have any answers that have decimals. Again, I'm going to say that one more time. On power assignment 5-2, you should not have any decimal answers. If you have a decimal answer, you did something wrong. Go back and check your multiplication. Go back and check your addition. Go ahead and check those little details because something's up. That's why you're ending up with a decimal. You should not get a decimal. Okay. Hopefully I'll get to see you guys on Monday, and have a good weekend. Bye.